Hello and welcome to another F12 programming. My name is Mike Hewitt.
I'm Jacob Rains.
And today we're talking about, what are we talking about?
I'm going to talk about yield, which is a little known C# feature that I think needs a little attention.
Yeah.
So
it's not something I see often.
It is not something, but oh man, is it useful when it comes up though.
Right.
So a little bit, I've got a little project going here. We've been working in this piece of code across a whole bunch of videos, so it's a little bit of a mess, but we've created an employee class in here that has a really simple employee, just first name, last name, department. It's got an ID number on there, and we've created a class called employee collection, which just contains a list of employees with 6 hard-coded employees in here, just kind of as an example so you understand what we're doing here. So what I want to do is I want to write a for each, and I cheated here a little bit because I have if you look on my employee collection, I have this list of employees and it's public. So I can absolutely write some piece of code like this. So I'm going to say employee collection, employees equals new employee collection. And I can say for each var emp in employees dot employees, which is that public field that I have that has that list of employees. And I can say console.write, I'm going to put my emp variable in here. And when I run this code, I'm just in a little console window, I'm going to get my 6 employees listed here.
Yep.
That's great. That works for some things. We could only use a for each against things that have an iterator or are enumerable. So I want to talk about a way we could do that, make our own, right? So let's say I wanted to write my own. So I'm going to say public IEnumerable employee, and you'll see where I'm going here in just a second. And I'm going to call it salespeople.
I like it. I like where you're going.
Right? And it's not going to be a method. This is going to be a property because I think that makes it look cleaner. But this could be a method. Doesn't matter. This is a property or a method that is returning an IEnumerable, which is a little weird. But now in here, I need to go for each employee emp in my list. Oh, that's not what I meant. That doesn't even need to be there anymore. It's employees. And now I need to put some kind of filter on here. So I want to say if employee, and there are other ways to do this, so this is just a simple example, but if I want to say this employee dot department equals sales, these are the only ones that I want, I can do a yield return employee.
Oh, okay.
Which is way different than a return. So if most of your code, everyone's used to returns. When you hit a return, that's the end of the game, right? That's the end of this method. We're done. That is not the case with a yield return. With a yield return, when we hit this, we're returning that value back to the code that called us, but we're not done. We're going to keep going. And we might run through this loop and hit this yield return. Well, I can tell you we're going to hit it 1, 2, 3 times because we have 3 people that are in the sales department. So now back in my code, instead of looping through this is a public field here, I can loop through salespeople. And I can use it right in my for each.
Yeah.
And now when I run this, I get my 3 salespeople.
And you could probably go back. Let's just pull out sales and accounting.
Right.
So you could write another if statement. Can you? Don't do that. Write 2 different. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I was going to say.
Well, I was going to show you. We could even do some weird stuff.
Yeah, let's do the weird stuff.
We could just do the weird stuch. We want it to be sales or accounting, or I don't know why we would do this way, but let's say we just really want the first one in the list, which is Bob. Well, Bob's a bad example. He's an accountant. He doesn't have to be. Let's say he's a manager. right? No matter what, we want to, if I can type, yield, return, employees, plural, 0, which should be Bob.
Right.
I always get a little hesitant using indexes, but Bob is neither in sales nor accounting, but he is listed in my statement here, so it doesn't have to be in a loop anytime I hit these. Matter of fact, let's make it really weird. Let's just put it twice.
Okay.
So every employee is going to get returned twice, except for Bob. Except for Bob. So when I go to run this code now, you're going to see every single person comes in twice that was in the loop.
Yep.
And then at the end we have Bob.
Yeah, I like that.
You could use it even for things. I've seen people do things like this. Let's make an IEnumerable, and the great thing is we can put as many of these as we want. Let's make an IEnumerable string, and let's call it days. And let's get rid of the whole for each concept at all together. Let's just return a hard-coded value.
I guess, yeah, you could do that, couldn't you?
You could do this. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm kind of skipping here a little bit, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
I could come back to my program now. We could write another for each, and we could loop through days. Let's call this a different variable at least, so it looks a little cleaner. We're still going to get the first ones, but we're also going to get Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday through Friday.
Yeah.
So, short summary, a yield return is a return statement that you can hit multiple times.
And it can only really be used with IEnumerable?
It can only be used with IEnumerable. Yeah. There's a much longer way. We used to be able to make this happen in the older versions of .NET, before I think like version 6. But it was a pain. We had to support a whole bunch of methods and wrap this up as its own object, and it had a whole bunch of overhead. This is so easy to write with a yield return. No reason not to do it.
Yep.
All right.
Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That would help us out very much. And thanks for joining us.